with us, that your time here will be very happy and successful. And I think perhaps I ought to start with reassurances, because our school really is a very warm and inclusive community. You only have to read our recent Ofsted report to see that that is well reflected there. And whatever your race, religion, your background, whatever primary school you come from, I promise you that you'll settle in very quickly. You'll be welcome here, you'll make friends here, and I know that you'll be comfortable with your choice of school. And we will, of course, welcome you here quite soon. But before I hand over to the most important person that you're going to hear from tonight, who is Miss Shamas, our remarkable head of Year 7, I'm going to pass to members of the team that do all the hard work here. And I start, of course, with my friend and colleague, Mr. Bryant, head of school.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, my name's Alan Bryant. I'm the head teacher here at Salvatorian College. I've been here now for just over 5 years. And Mr. Tissot just mentioned pride. I'm very proud of this school and what we've achieved in this school. And I'm proud that every year that I've been here, our boys have left really with a really good set of outcomes academically, but not just that, that they leave with really good manners, that they've got a really good understanding of what it means to be nice to one another, because we're a faith school, and we have a really strong set of values which are lived in our school, actually. The way that we conduct ourselves and the way we talk to each other, the way we help and treat our fellow humans on our journey through this life is one of love and kindness. And when they leave, we hope that our boys will go off to be leaders of good influence. That's part of our mission, is that the boys leave with the ability to go into any room and to converse with anybody on an equal pegging. And so this is a long way off for some of you. You're already only in Year 6, and of course it's a long way to go, but that time flies. And by the time you leave this school, you should have a really good setup for the rest of your life. I like school to be fun. I like to smile a lot. But of course, we do have very strong discipline here. So that enables our boys to have fun. Don't really tolerate any mucking about. We're quite strong on discipline. And I think that means that we've got a very productive, safe and happy school. So I have another meeting to go to this evening, as does Mr. Tissot, but I wanted to make sure that we said hello to you all. And I really look forward to meeting you young people and having a chat with you about what primary school you came from and what it is you'd like to do in the future. So look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you, Mr. Tissot and Mr. Bryant. I just want to say good evening, our future Year 7s. Welcome to Salvatorian College. I am delighted to be here to be speaking to you all. I know that I had some chats with your parents earlier on today, and some of my conversations were that some of you are feeling a little worried. Some of you are feeling very, very excited. Some of you don't know anyone. And I just want you to, to reiterate to you, you are not alone. And our job at Salvatorian College, we will make sure that we do everything we can to ensure that your time at Salvatorian College is, fun, as Mr. Bryant said, and that you do make friends. And you make friends with new people, not people that, were at your primary school, and you develop confidence, you develop your talents, your skills, and, at the end, you work very, very hard and you achieve what you set yourself out to achieve. So I just wanted to say welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. Just a little bit about how this evening's going to work. We're going to go through a presentation. I'm going to introduce you to some of my colleagues. And then we're going to have time for a Q&A. So you should see that there is a chat button. So if you've got any questions throughout, please do write in the chat, and we'll do everything we can to make sure we answer them by the end of this evening. If you do have to go early, this is recorded. So we will share this if you haven't been able to see the whole webinar. Right, Mr. Evans, when you're ready.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. Evans. I'm in charge of teaching and learning in the curriculum here at Salvatorian College. One of sort of my main jobs is to oversee the Q&A function. So just to let you know that there is actually a Q&A button that you guys can ask your questions to. Now, I can answer those questions directly, or we can leave it to the end. So if you use that, but yeah. So here we go. This mishmash.
I can't see the screen yet, Mr. Evans.
Is it not? Let me try that again.
I can see the screen.
Fantastic. Thank you. So what guides us at Salvatorian College? So our road to success is based on three main principles. Now, you would have heard from Mr. Bryant. He mentioned how we're a strict school, and you know, because we're such a strict school, it enables people to have fun, and it enables students to, you know, be safe. And I've had a couple of questions about bullying. You know, perhaps there are some boys here who may have, you know, been bullied in their primary school, or some students have been unkind to them. Something I will tell you, as we are a very strict school, we pride ourselves in students being polite, having good manners. There's not really any room for pupils to misbehave. And if anyone is misbehaving or anyone is being unkind, we have strong kind of sanctions in our school. And, you know, our kind of idea is that every teacher has an open door. So if there's any problem with anything, there are staff members here to talk to you, and things will be dealt with. And they'll be dealt with straight away. So that's one of them, outstanding behaviour. And we also have prizes, lots of prizes for students who are showing exemplary behaviour. We have something called ePraise, which you're going to learn about when you join the school. And it's a bit like fake money. And these points that you get for showing your good manners, for being polite. You know, there might be someone sitting on their own in the playground, and you might talk to them and ask them to play with you. We will have ePraise points for that, and you can buy many different things with your ePraise points. So we've had boys buy a basketball, or football, or some stationery, Amazon vouchers, things like that. So outstanding behaviour is expected at Salvatorian College, and it is rewarded as well. We have very high expectations. And as Mr. Bryant said, you know, you only need to look at our Ofsted report to see how fantastic we are doing. Now, our GCSE results this year just show that. It just mirrors how our high expectations of the school and the outcomes of the pupils. So out of the 3,500 secondary schools, we actually performed 75th in our GCSE results. So we are currently in the top 2% of schools. Now, that comes as a result of the outstanding behaviour of our boys and the high expectations that we set. But in addition to that, it's a result of our ethos and our values. Now, our values is based on the Beatitudes. Now, we expect all boys to be following our ethos and our values. And as you can see, that's something that guides our boys to success. Next slide, please, Mr. Evans. So these are some faces you may be able to see on the webinar this evening. You've already met Mr. Bryant. We've got Mr. Coker here this evening. He is our head of behaviour and he's our deputy head. As you can see, he's waving there. You've got myself, Mr. Tiso, who already spoke to you. You've got Mr. Cooper, our deputy head, and he is our safeguarding lead. He's also able to join us this evening. We've got Mr. Evans, who already spoke. He is our head of curriculum and our deputy head as well. Unfortunately, Miss Kilroy and Mr. Fowler haven't been able to join us this evening, but Miss Kilroy is our Senko, and Mr. Fowler is someone you've probably all been dealing with. He is our admissions officer. So if you've got any questions regarding admissions, Mr. Fowler is the person for you. So what are we at Salvatorian College? Well, we are a supportive community. Now, we aren't just, it's not just about the students and the staff, it's a much bigger picture. So we've got a PTA that is currently growing. So I encourage, if there's any parents on here who perhaps would like to be involved in the school, when your son joins, to sign up to our PTA. We have close links with St. Joseph's Church, so we do have some masses. Now, I have been asked the question before, because I know we're a Catholic school, but as we say, we're a Catholic school, but we're not a Catholic school just for Catholics. It's mainly based on our values. So we do have masses, and we do have clear links to Father Mario, who is our parish priest. But what we do say is that when boys do attend mass, that you don't need to be Catholic to go into the church. It's just that we are respectful of the faith. I'm not Catholic myself, but I do attend the masses with other non-Catholic students too. We are a community. Now, what I like is that boys who leave Salvatorian College, they have a motto, and that motto is once a salvo, always a salvo. And that's going to be you boys. Boys who join the Salvatorian College really do feel part of the community, and they're proud to be students at Salvatorian College. And, you know, I want you boys to be excited to be joining part of this community. We're also part of the Dio Duce Foundation. We've got an Old Salvatorians football club where we run charity events for alumni, pupils. And we're also part of the Cardinal Humes Academies Trust, which, Mr. Evans, you're going to have to give me the number on this. We are what number are we performance-wise in the trust? Is it number 3?
It was the top performing Catholic trust in the country.
Okay, so we're very lucky to be part of the top performing Catholic trust in the country. Next slide, please, Mr. Evans. So, from speaking to some parents, a lot of parents have said to me that they remember Salvatorian College from what it used to be. Now, this image may or may not be familiar to you, but this is our brand new state-of-the-art building. So a few years ago, Salvatorian College was knocked down and rebuilt. So we are very lucky to have you boys joining a school where we've got brand new and such wonderful facilities. So I think the next few slides, you'll be able to see some photos of the school. So that's our brand new sports hall, where a lot of the boys, when we play in PE, boys will use our sports hall. We also have tournaments in there as well. We can also put carpet in there, and we have some parents' evenings. So it's such a great large place for boys to run around and have fun. We've also got our Father Francis Jordan Hall. Now, as you can see, there's some lovely bleachers there. Boys, you'll be here once a week minimum. And what we'll do weekly is we'll have our assemblies, and you boys will be taking part in those assemblies. So you'll be there at the front with your classmates, and you'll be speaking to your peers on matters that are up to you, or a certain focus. And this is where you'll be, and you'll meet with, you know, all of the peers in your year group once a week for our assembly. And as you can see in that image, we're actually, we have annual productions. So this year, we're currently working with Sacred Heart, the girls' school, to host a production, hopefully in the summer term, which you are all invited to attend. And perhaps this time next year, you'll be part of that, the production that we choose to have. So here's another image of our school. Just for some dates, we have got ongoing tours. So I know for some of you, the school may have been the school of first choice for you. For others, it may not have been. I know many of you who have visited the school already and you've had tours, and some of you may want to refamiliarize yourselves with the school. And really, we have a, you know, an open door policy. If anyone wants to visit the school, I invite you all to come. Now, it will need to be on an appointment basis, and you will need to call up the school if you would like to have an appointment to view the school. And what I encourage you to do is to view the school whilst it's in action. So during the school day, you know, you can really get a feel of the school, and, you know, boys as well, just to see the boys learning, to see the curriculum going on, see some PE lessons, some science activities, you know, all the lessons going on as they are, as opposed to just coming in on an open evening and not seeing the lessons. Just a date for your diaries. We've got our CATs, our cognitive ability assessments, on Saturday, the 1st of July. So that is just something for your diary. We've got our transition day on Wednesday, the 5th of July. Now, that's for everyone to attend. It's a very fun day where boys, it will be a time for you to meet your form tutor. It will be a time for you to meet your teachers, to meet your peers, and to make friends. Now, just something on that, I think it's so important, just to reiterate again, that the boys, when they join the school in September, they feel confident, they know people, they see familiar faces. And that's part of our transition day. And boys, you'll be given a buddy. That'll be someone in your class, and that buddy will be someone you don't know, but you will go around with them, because like I said, it's very important you meet someone new, and you'll go around with them, and they will be your buddy as part of your transition. Now, we are very lucky to be hosting another summer school this year. We have hosted it past few years. And the first question I normally get is, right, how much do I need to pay to sign up to this summer school? It is absolutely free. It's something that the school we hold for our prospective pupils as part of the transition process. So before you book your holidays, if you would like to come to our summer school on the 24th of July, which is 1 week, then please do sign up. Obviously, we can't accept everyone, so it is going to be on a first come, first served basis. So if an email has gone out already, I know it was due to, but if it has and you would like to sign up, then please do. And our induction day, so the first day of school is Wednesday, the 6th of September. So boys, you get a nice long summer, and Wednesday, 6th of September will be the day that you start Salvatorian College, which I'm really looking forward to.
Mr. Cooper, did you want to say something?
Yes, would you mind just popping back to the previous slide? Yeah, I think it's really important. Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Cooper. I'm the Deputy Head Safeguarding Lead, and my job is to try and make sure everyone's happy and enjoying school and, fulfilling their duties within their role at Salvatorian. But I just wanted to show you this slide here because this is the designated Year 7 playground. I think it's really important as a transition that Year 7 are actually quite fortunate. They have quite a large playground dedicated just for the Year 7 pupils. So the friendship groups they make in form and across the form groups in Year 7, it really is quite a nice environment, nice welcoming environment from Year 6 into Year 7. They do mix with the other pupils when they go to the canteen and around the rest of the school, but it's just a designated area for Year 7, so those friendships can really be fostered and nurtured. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that leaves us on to questions. I know I've spoken quite a bit, and I know there's a lot to digest and to take in, but if you do have any questions of something I perhaps haven't covered, please do write it in the Q&A section, and we will try and answer them as soon as possible.
Okay, so the first question I think has already been answered, but there was a question about any other dates for the summer school or a day where Year 7s can have an opportunity to meet each other prior to starting in September. That will be the transition day, right?
Yes, correct. So they've got the Cats Day, they've got the transition day, they've got the summer school if you boys attend, and the other one is the induction day, so the first day of school. Just be there won't be any other year groups in on the 6th of September.
Yeah, and just say we do that staggered start, so Year 7s get a chance to sort of see the school without anybody else here. That first day, that induction day, is really important. There's a question about, is the school linked to a sixth form?
Yes, so Salvatorian College we don't actually have a sixth form ourselves, but in fact, the majority of our boys end up going on to St. Dominic's. We have very close links to St. Dom's. So yeah, I think Mr. Evans,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've missed anything.
Yeah, so St. Dominic's is ourselves and Sacred Heart, the girls' school across the road, work in partnership. We're sort of paired up with St. Dominic's at Harrow on the Hill. They come in and interview every one of our boys in Year 11 and offer places to them pending their GCSE results. And we have a good sort of uptake of students from our school going to St. Dom's. So that's sort of a nice link that we have.
It's worth saying as well, sorry, Mr. Evans, is evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Coker. I'm in charge of behaviour, Deputy Head. St. Dominic's is an outstanding sixth form provider. And over the years, around about 95% of our pupils will go there to do a range of A-levels. But as I said, in terms of Catholic sixth forms, they are the #1 in the country.
Yeah, and so next question. There's a couple of questions about CATS testing. Do you want me to answer that one, Ms. Shamash?
Yes, please, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, so the CATS test, the cognitive ability test, will take place on a Saturday. It is computer based. We usually do 2 tests. So there's the CATS test and then there's also a reading test. But the CATS test doesn't necessarily test knowledge or subjects. It is that sort of cognitive ability, but it's in 4 areas. So it's verbal, quantitative, non-verbal, and spatial. And that it's sort of a standardized test that helps us to put students, along with sort of other data that we have on students, helps us put them into their form classes. There's an opportunity in September, a couple of weeks in, to we invite the parents in and we actually get the form tutors to discuss those CATS tests with all the parents. Isn't that right, Miss Shamash?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about the results of those CATS tests, you can discuss those in September once your son has started. So yes, that's at Salvatore, and that's on a Saturday. That test will be. If you can't make that, there is an opportunity to sort of catch that up, but we sort of want to get them all done on that day. So there's a question about so for modern foreign languages, if you want your son to do Spanish, how do we go about this? So I mean, I'll answer that one as well. We offer 2 languages, so French or Spanish, and we do offer year 7s an opportunity to pick which one they want. So what we tend to do is we'll randomly allocate those, and within the first week or 2, we'll offer opportunity for students. And obviously parents can sort of contact if they have a preference as well in terms of that. But we offer French and Spanish, and we'll give the students a choice when sort of after they've started. There's a question about how many pupils are there per class and how many classes per year group. So next year we're going to be officially 6 forms of entry, so 6 form classes in every year group, and we tend to have around 30, sort of 25 to 30 in each class, but we do have a small nurture group usually within that. Do you want to talk about the nurture group, Ms. Shamash?
Yes, absolutely. So as Mr. Evans said, the maximum really we'd usually have is around 30. But obviously we can see, especially in year 7, different pupils, would benefit perhaps from smaller classroom sizes. So at the moment in my current year 7 cohort, the class sizes vary from 10 pupils to no more than 30. And again, it just varies on the individual and how they would work best.
Mm-hmm. We've got a question about how are students able to serve as leaders? Mr. Cooper, you do a bit of work with the Student Council, don't you?
Yes, so I mean, what Mr. Bryant mentioned, one of our sort of mottos is that, we produce leaders of good influence, which means that when our pupils leave Salvatorian, they can make a positive contribution to society. But we encourage our pupils to make a positive contribution to life at Salvatorian College, and that can come from being a member of the Student Council, and the boys are elected to that forum, and within that they have working parties, whether it be a charity or a Catholic Life, or I call them the Eco Warriors. They put various initiatives from the student body into action, and they can spend money from the school to make the school a better place. We also have prefects in year 10 and 11, and head boys as well, that represent the school in more sort of community-based opportunities. I think if you visited the school in September, you would have seen some of our boys speak very well. Ms. Shamash has said, encouraged pupils to be contributing to assemblies and other things. There's lots of opportunities in school to take on those roles and develop those skills that we want to instill in our pupils.
Thank you for that. There's quite a few questions, Ms. Shamash, about signing up for summer school.
Yes, so with regards to signing up for summer school, it seems like you haven't actually received the email yet, but what will happen is an email will go out. It will be by Mr. Fowler, and it will give you the details of how to sign up. Once you've signed up, you'll then be informed whether your son has been successful or not.
Thank you for that. Mr. Coker, so there's a question about if students forget their homework, is there a sanction for that?
Yeah, there is. Well, we operate an X system, and one of them is an XH. And if they get 2 XHs in 1 week, they will receive a detention lunch hour. More importantly is that we do operate here a voluntary homework club, which is really well attended. Ms. Shamash oversees it. That's for pupils in every year group. But if the pupil persistently does not complete his homework, there is a 5 o'clock club whereby, as in the behaviour policy, we would expect that pupil to stay in school until 5 o'clock, supervised. We have a few pupils which do that, but it's on a 2-week cycle. But more importantly, looking at the voluntary homework club, that's really well attended. Mr. Mash, do you want to add?
Yeah, I think I know from primary school it can be a bit daunting, because I know different primary schools give different amounts of homework. So at the moment, when I speak to some year 7 boys, they'll say they've never ever received homework at primary school, or there'll be boys who will say, actually, you know, we got 3 or 4 pieces a night at primary school. But what I think is just something to reassure you boys is something that's, you know, important. We will be here to support you with your homework. So, you know, it may take some time to get used to, and the homework that is set will be work that you've done in class, and just, you know, time to reflect and to retrieve what you have learnt in class. But if you are having any problems, you know, worries or concerns about how long you're spending on your homework, I would encourage you to go to our voluntary homework club. A lot of our year 7s do go, and they really do benefit from it, because there's a teacher in there to support them. And also it just keeps you on track. You can do your homework at school, and then you go home, and that's your time to, you know, unwind. So if that's something that you think you may need assistance with, then when you join, I really do encourage you to join our voluntary homework club.
It's also important to say that the homework timetable is given out right at the beginning of the year. So as a parent, you know when the homework is being set. And also we operate the Show My Homework. So you will also be given a username to go in to check what homework your son has got and whether they are completing it.
Yeah, excellent. That sort of answers one of the questions about homework online. There is, all homework will be set to the students, and a version of it will be put on Show My Homework, so you can check that that's being done. They may use their exercise books and things like that to do the homework. Mishmash, what teacher support is there at the homework club?
So there will be a member of staff in there to support at all times. Sometimes we'll have subject teachers going in to support. But like I said, there's an opportunity. If there's something that students aren't understanding, there will be a teacher in there at all times who will be able to assist with the homework.
Thank you. Mr. Cooper, sports. There's a few questions about school football team, sports tournaments.
Yeah. So we all pupils participate in a double PE lesson per week, and that focuses on a range of different activities. You've seen the sports hall, how fantastic that is. We have an activity studio as well, but we do a wide range in curriculum lessons, and that is then matched with the extracurricular program as well. And we work in sort of mini seasons. So the football season begins in September through to October when the light goes. Then we move into the basketball season, and we're just about to pop back into the football season to finish off. And you'll see a little photo behind me here of my year 9s who are now year 10s, who are the defending champions. They have a semi-final on Monday, Harrow champions. So we are successful, but we do all sorts of things, not just football. We have table tennis, badminton, we have cricket. We have a couple of cricket teams that use the sports hall in the evening as well. But there's also a boxercise fitness class as well that the staff attend, and the pupils and the staff attend together. It's just sort of a nice way to sort of unwind on a Friday evening. So there is something for everyone, and it doesn't matter about your sporting ability. We do stream the PE group, so you'll always be working with people roughly the same ability, but the extracurricular program's there for the boys that are sort of more able in whatever activity they choose to do.
Thank you for that. Timings of the school day. you want to, Mishmash, explain about the timings of the school day?
Yes, so boys, you will be expected to come into school at 8:30. Now, if any of you come into school earlier, the school is open from 7:30, and we do, if you want, we can provide you with breakfast. It does come at a cost, but breakfast is there for those who would like. Our first, our registration is at 8:50, so 10 to 9. And you'll spend 20 minutes with your form tutor. Now, I know a lot of you probably won't have a form tutor at the moment. It's kind of more of a secondary school thing, but your form tutor is your form of, your first port of call in the morning. So they are your pastoral care. So perhaps in the morning, if, I don't know, you've forgotten your pencil case or you've got a problem, you can speak to your form tutor. You will have registration with them 5 days a week. So it's 20 minutes in the morning. It's 8:50 until 9:10. And you also do some activities in your form class as well, which you'll find out a bit more about the activities when you join. You've got 5 lessons in the day. So the first lesson is at 9:10, and every lesson is 1 hour. So you've got 9:10 until 10:10. And then your second lesson is 10:10 until 10:11. And you have a 20-minute break. And at break time, you can go to the canteen and get again, which is very, very popular with our boys. I've been told that they sell fantastic paninis in the canteen and lots of other delicious foods, which our boys love. So that's a 20-minute break where you can get hot or cold food from the canteen. And also it gives you a chance to run around in the playground. In our rather large Year 7 playground, may I add. Then you've got another 2 lessons. So you've got 11:30 till 12:30. That's our period 3, it's called. 12:30 to 1:30, which is our period 4. Then you've got a nice long lunch from 1:30 until 2:10. Again, where you can go to the canteen, or if you have got packed lunch, you can use that time to eat your packed lunch. And the final lesson of the day is period 5, which is the end of lunch, which is 2:10 until 2:10. But the school is open until much later. So if any of you would like to do extracurricular activities, then of course you can stay at school until latest, I believe, is 6:30. We run a youth club on a Wednesday that the boys can attend, and school will be open 6:30. Should you wish to stay.
Thank you for that. Yeah, there's a few questions about after school club. So I think Mishmash has already mentioned, obviously the homework club, there's all the sports clubs that take place, and that youth club that's very popular. I think we have about 70 Year 7s and 8s that attend that every week on a Wednesday. There are other things. There's a few questions about music. So we offer music lessons. So music is part of the curriculum. Students have an hour each week. But if students want to learn an instrument or learn to sing, there are opportunities for additional lessons in those. So there's a range of instruments ranging from piano. There is some strings instruments. I think there's violin and woodwind, percussion. We're currently in the process of getting a singing teacher, so a vocal coach, to do some singing lessons, but also we have a school choir, but we're also going to be sort of getting somebody managing that school choir on the regular. So there's definitely an opportunity for music lessons. We do a lot of lunchtime clubs. So though there are those after school clubs we talked about, there's also a whole host. So there's science club, DT, there's a maths club, computer sort of club. So there's lots of things that go on during lunchtimes as well as after school in terms of the clubs that take place. I just want to sort of come up to a few questions that people have been asking about things we've already spoken about. So on the Cats Day, there are Mishmash 2 sessions.
Correct.
Yeah, so there'll be sort of a morning and one around midday. I think we will allocate those, but if parents would like to swap, then they can get in touch with the school and let us know. I think the first one is normally around 9 o'clock, 9:30. and one around midday, if I remember correctly. So that's the CATS testing. A question about, do we take SATs into account? Yeah, we definitely take SATs into account, as long as we get the information from the primary schools. So we do sort of put out a feeler for all the primary schools to let us know what those SAT scores were, and that does help us when we look at form classes as well. I think some people were asking about a concern about there being 6 classes in each year group and each class having 30 students. That's not the case, because the maximum any year group will be is 150. So our PAN is 150, which means that spread out over 6 form classes means that we don't reach 30 in all of them. So we have a bit more sort of those smaller class sizes that I think everybody knows is very valuable for students. So that's why we set it up that way. A question about newsletter. There is a newsletter that goes out every week to parents. So all the latest news, all of the developments that go on with the school, that get sent out, I think, on a Friday afternoon for the upcoming week. So any events that are taking place, those will be articulated to parents. Ms. Shamash, what about the lunch credit? What do we do for paying for lunches?
Right, so we are a cashless school, so all lunch can be paid for online on something called Parent Pay. So parents, you will be able to access, you'll be able to see every day what your son is eating. You could put, you'll be able to see, how much goes out, how much is left, and you'll be able to top up on there as well. I've also seen a question on here about how much it costs for after school clubs. Now, I know that in primary schools, a lot of the time there are costs. We offer these after school clubs for free. The only one that is at a cost is youth club, and that's because there's food provided, there's trips provided as well, but all other clubs are free.
Thank you for that. Mr. Cooper, football club, do you know which days they are?
I've seen there's a lot of questions about football. No, the extracurricular timetable will be set up in September, and the information will be sent home to parents and told to pupils, and pupils can write it in their journal. I know Mr. Mash and Mr. Evans, you've done a very good job mentioning all the different trips, and I've been scribbling things down as well. I think a couple of the important things as well. I've just come back from a ski trip from northern Italy over Feb half term. We took over 50 pupils to that trip there, and it's fantastic, from 8, 9, 10, year 8, 9, 10. The Duke of Edinburgh Awards has gone from strength to strength. We've now got a large cohort going on their bronze, and a slightly smaller cohort going through their silver. Duke of Edinburgh, and of course they can go on to do their gold at St Dominic's. We have a Wider Horizons Week in October, where it's a drop-down curriculum where the Year 7s are involved in some team building activities and different events involving sort of PSHE and visits to museums and other fun activities as well. So there really is a lot going on, and there's something there for everyone.
Thank you for that. I'm just trying to scroll through to see if I've missed any of the questions. What about our library? Who wants to take that one? Ms. Shamash?
When can students visit the library?
Yeah.
So we are hoping, I believe next year, we're hoping to have some English lessons in the library, aren't we?
Yeah.
So students will be able to visit the library at break times and lunch times. And we are looking to have, like I said, some lessons in the library as well.
Yeah, so just to add to that, we're sort of in the process right now of setting up a nice state-of-the-art library. It's in the works, and it's likely to be launched in September. Now, whilst we are going to have some English lessons in there, I think we're going to try our best to have it open before and after school for students to use. and that sort of that's the priority really. School kitchen. Does the school kitchen provide vegetarian and halal options? Yes, they do. I think the vast majority of the food is halal.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, all of it is halal, and they always have a veggie option as well. What about Duke of Edinburgh? When does that start? Do you know, Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, it's year 9 usually, but I know we're talking about opening up to year 8s as well. But year 9 bronze, and then year 10 silver.
Yeah. So in terms of the lunch cost, there is the price for a main meal. I'm not too sure off the top of my head what that price is. And that for that you get the meal and a dessert. And that sort of, if the student is free school meals, that will cover that main meal. But there are also break foods. There's sort of grab and go things, like burgers, nachos, chicken and wedges and things like that cost separately. So there's actually sort of a really increasing range of food in our school canteen. I think it's very, very much improved this year, over the last few years actually. Siblings playing together, I'm guessing that's talking about sports teams. If they're in different year groups, Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, as I said, obviously they've got their year 7 playground, but the boys do mix as they visit the other playground where the canteen is, so that there is that sibling support that is available. And you know, the year 7s aren't banned from going around to the other playground. We just prefer the older pupils not to go onto the year 7 playground, so that they've got their own area. And obviously it's not just siblings, obviously people have friends from in the community that they might want to say hello to. I think it's worth pointing out as well that our older pupils are brilliant. We have a peer mentor program as well, where the older pupils actually help them with their homework or the subjects that they're struggling with. And that runs in the morning every week. Our year 10s mentor, not just mentor pastorally, but mentor academically as well, some of the younger pupils. So it's nice to see as the boys move around school. You'll always see me on duty, and one of the reasons I love working is because they always say hello, morning sir, how are you? And we have little conversations, but they do that across the year groups as well. So it's a nice atmosphere.
Thank you for that. Do the children get a locker? No, we don't have lockers in our school for students. Do you travel outside school for tournaments? Yes, I think the tournament that Mr. Cooper talked about, so there was football, basketball, there's even table tennis, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the Harrow-wide, Harrow Borough tournaments, and there's also the Middlesex Cups that we enter as well.
Guitar classes. I can't think off the top of my head if there's guitar lessons. Yeah.
Essentially, Harrow Music Service will offer whatever private. There's a little cost involved with the Harrow Music Service, but one-on-one lessons, you can pay a little bit of money and you can pretty much learn any instrument that you would like.
Yeah, I do know that there is a guitar topic in the year 8 scheme of work, so they do actually learn to play guitar in year 8, all students in the year group. We're sort of down to the final few questions. There was a question about, can boys set up their own clubs in the school? I think that we're always open to students coming up with ideas for clubs. Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, we have a games club, a sort of board games club, and the boys, they like playing their card games. I don't want to call it top trumps, but it's a newer version of that. They play chess, but I think the best thing is to try and find a member of staff that has similar passions to you or is willing to do it. I know the year 7 form tutors are very accommodating in looking after their boys and giving up their lunch breaks and after schools for the boys to set up whatever they want to, really.
Yeah. Question about school trips. I think you spoke about the school trips that we offer, Mr. Cooper. Did you talk about Wider Horizons as well? Yeah. So we will have that week of Wider Horizons in the school where students go on trips. We've done a few international trips, as Mr. Cooper just said as well. I went to Beijing in 2019, which was fantastic. Mr. Cooper's just been on a ski trip.
Rome.
In Rome. So fantastic opportunities, and they can range. I mean, we really do make use of being in London. So as much as possible, we get students into central London, get them going to the National Gallery and the various museums in that area. But we also do make use of sort of being on the outskirts as well. Mr. Coker, there's a question about if a child cannot focus due to some of the classmates being disruptive, what do we do about that? Do we move the pupils to a better form, or do we deal with the disruption?
We deal with the disruption. In the school, we have a patrol system whereby any pupils who have been disrupted will be removed. As Ms. Shamash said, anyone could come in by appointment, and you can go around the school and you will see all the classrooms are very quiet because we just simply will not tolerate it. Just answering the question regarding mobile phones. The trust, including this school, do not have mobile phones, so we don't expect pupils to bring them in. And if we find them, then they will be confiscated. But it's a trust wide. In Ofsted, just generally the government regulator, if you like, they're quite anti-phones as well.
Yeah. And what about if a student is late? What happens then?
Again, they will get an X for being late, so they will have a detention, lunch hour detention. And if they are late more than twice, then they will have a Friday detention. Just to let you know, we also have a Saturday detention if they get more than 2 X's, behaviour X's in 1 week. Again, we are a strict school. We make no apologies for that. It is strict, but the results clearly show that strict behaviour gives good results. Okay. However, saying all of that, this is a really happy school. Mr. Cooper said, you know, the kids are really polite, they talk to everyone, and they expect pupils who are poorly behaved to be dealt with. And there is a lot of self-policing here. The pupils do tell us if there's individuals who need to be spoken to.
Thank you. So last few questions, unless anybody has any more to ask. Question about home learning, homework. Is it all online or is it paper-based? So all homework, vast majority of it anyway, will be set to the students and they will be given a paper version of that. Okay, we know that not all students have access to their own laptop at home. So we expect that homework is set in person, they give them a copy of it, and it's to do primarily in their books. Now, there is at times where we might use online based systems. So we may use things like MathWatch or some of the online textbooks, but we always give students as much time as possible to complete those. So whilst we talk about Show My Homework, Satchel 1, that is the backup. So like I said, you can check and see what homework is being set, but the homework will be a hard copy that students will submit in person. Okay. A question about tutors, form tutors. So we are very lucky. We have a dedicated Year 7 team. So Miss Shamash and the vast majority of her form tutors will stay in the Year 7. They're dedicated Year 7 form tutors. It's the same in Year 11. So I'm the head of Year 11 and we have a dedicated group of Year 11 form tutors that will stay, that are stationary. But from Year 8, 9 and 10, the form tutors and heads of year will usually move up with them. So they do have that continuity in those sort of middle 3 years. So Year 8, 9, 10, they'll get a form tutor in Year 8 and head of year, and that person will then move up with them through those years. And then they'll see me in Year 11. Lucky them. Yeah, so dental medical appointments, obviously, as long as the parents let the school know in advance that a student has a dental or medical appointment, so they can usually email admin at, or I think there's an attendance at Salvatorian College. Then we can put that on the system and let them go. Sometimes if it's a last minute thing, they may have a printout of an appointment. That's just fine as well. But we ideally like to know these things in advance so we can make sure that the students are able to get out. Mr. Coker, what happens if a student doesn't go to their Saturday detention?
We're talking about a very, very small minority of kids who will be given a Saturday detention. If they don't attend the first one, they're expected to attend the second one. But obviously, if they don't attend the second one, there will be a further sanction as per the behaviour policy.
So there's a couple of questions about phones, and I think I'll just echo what Mr. Coker has said about this. We do not allow any mobile phones in schools. And that is because of the target that it can put on their back in the community and the distraction it can cause inside school. Now, I appreciate that parents may want to contact their children, and obviously we encourage that. Now, we will allow any student to use the school phones at the end of the school day in our student services or reception, to contact home and let them know whether something's happening after school or whether they're going straight home, and they can do that. But we do not allow mobile phones, smartphones, any of those within our school as policy, and that is really mimicked across the country. That's a very that is what we're saying. In terms of the CATS testing, if you want to request either the 9 AM or the midday slot, what I said is I think they're going to be randomly allocated, but if you want to swap your time, just let Mr. Fowler know, or let sort of our admin know, and we can do that. We've only got a couple of minutes left. I don't want to keep people too late. Parents will be notified when detentions are set. So there is a letter that will be emailed to you. Students will also get a hard copy of those.
It's important, sorry, Mr. Evans.
Yep.
It's important to say that we have a journal, and a major part of the communication between the school and parents is the journal. So please, obviously, Mr. Mash will go over this when you come into September, but please ensure that you check that journal. I've got 2 daughters myself, and their journals aren't particularly got a lot of detail in there, but we really do use the journal as a major method of communication to yourself.
Thank you for that. There's a question about Salvatorian being not free. Now, I don't know whether that is the policy, but Mr. Cooper, do you know anything about the dietary requirements?
We have a medical list, so if there are any specific dietary requirements or allergies, can you obviously fill out the form in as much detail? But if there's a severe allergies, then we have a medical list that we will obviously have in key places around the school, such as defibrillators and spare autoimmune EpiPens as well. It's very difficult. It'd be very difficult to monitor that. So if you do have any concerns, please get in touch.
Okay, right. Like I said, last couple of questions. There's a question about the start of the school day. So Mr. Mash did say about we expect pupils to be in school at 8:30. We do line students up, and that's at 8:45, and the school gate closes at 8:50. So we aim to get the students in 20 minutes before we close the school gate. And so that gives enough time for students to sort of settle in and make sure they're there on time. Mr. Mash, you visit the Year Sixes in their primary schools, don't you?
Absolutely. Summer term, that's really my favourite term, getting to go to so many primary schools and visiting you boys. So yes, the aim is to see you all in person before you come in July. Get to see what you've been doing at primary school, some work that you've achieved, get to meet your teachers, get to meet your peers, but also find out a bit more about you. So yes, you can expect to see me at your primary school.
Excellent. Last question, Mr. Cooper. Do you know about whether parents can pay with their childcare vouchers?
Pay for what exactly?
I think it was when we're talking about lunch, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, we have a free school meal application process that the parents can go through online through the Department for Education. If you just type in free school meals, if you're not eligible, you can double check. There are some changes with the criteria for that, as the list of benefits is obviously changing and continues to change. As Mr. Shamash said, all the other things are free. So free supervision from 7:45, free after school supervision. All the clubs are free as well. But if you want to email specifically, I don't think we take childcare vouchers for food.
Okay, if there are any other questions, if you would like to email our admin email, so admin@salvatorian.harrow.sch.uk, and we will get back to you with an answer to those. But Ms. Shamash, do you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who joined us this evening. I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you boys, be it in the next few weeks if you're coming to visit the school, or when I come to your primary school. But as Mr. Evans said, if you do have any other questions, please feel free to email, to give us a call. We are here for you. You know, we want to make sure your transition to Salvatorian College is as smooth as possible. So if you do have any questions that perhaps haven't been answered this evening, or that you think of at the end of this session, then please do email in or give us a call. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Good luck with the rest of Year 6, boys. And thank you again for coming this evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.